In the desolate expanse of the Shadowfire Divide, a soldier named Jonah Reeve enlisted with a mercenary unit. He was told their purpose was noble, to bring stability to a fractured region. He believed it. He was a good soldier, ready to follow orders and fight for a cause he thought was just. The paycheck was good, but the promise of purpose was better. The desert sand stretched endlessly, mirroring the stark simplicity of his mission: find the enemy, neutralize the threat, and secure the sector. It all seemed so straightforward. His first real mission was a convoy strike. The operation went off without a hitch, a textbook ambush. But as Jonah sifted through the wreckage, something felt wrong. He cracked into the enemy's communication logs and found military codes standardized, procedural, almost identical to their own. It was a small detail, a flicker of doubt in the back of his mind. Professional soldiers, yes, but this level of standardization between supposed bitter enemies? It was unsettling. He logged the anomaly and tried to forget it, chalking it up to the strange nature of modern warfare. But the feeling wouldn't go away. Mission after mission, the pattern grew more obvious. They'd hit an outpost, and the enemy's defensive formations would be strangely predictable, almost as if they were running drills from the same training manual. The tactics were mirrored, the strategies echoed. It felt less like a chaotic war and more like a carefully choreographed performance. Jonah started keeping a private log, documenting the eerie similarities. The missions began to feel repetitive, like he was an actor playing the same part over and over, just on a different stage. He wasn't just fighting an enemy, he was participating in a system. The question was, who designed it? The chilling revelation came during a routine patrol. Jonah and his squad were tasked with scouting a recently liberated sector. They stumbled upon a supply depot, one they had personally raided and cleared just 2 weeks prior. But it wasn't empty. It was fully restocked, bustling with activity, and the soldiers guarding it. They wore the same gear, used the same call signs as the insurgents they had fought before. Jonah's blood ran cold. He realized the depot wasn't just resupplied, it was being fed. This war wasn't about winning or losing. It was a perpetual motion machine, fueled by an endless supply of weapons and soldiers, with someone profiting from every bullet fired, driven by a desperate need for answers. Jonah dug deeper. He bypassed his unit's firewalls and accessed the master command servers. What he found shattered his world. His unit's encryption keys, the digital signatures that identified friend from foe, were being rotated on an irregular schedule. On Monday, he was fighting for one faction. By Wednesday, after a system update, his rifle would tag his former allies as enemies. He hadn't been fighting for one side in a war, he had been unknowingly switching sides. A pawn in a game where both teams were owned by the same master. The enemy was whoever the system told him it was that day. His breaking point arrived in a brutal firefight. Pinned down and out of ammo, Jonah prepared for the end. Suddenly, the enemy fire shifted, targeting his own unit's flank. A small team of the soldiers he was supposed to kill broke through the crossfire, dragging him to safety. In the tense quiet of a makeshift shelter, one of them offered him a water canteen. There was no hatred in his eyes, only a weary resignation that Jonah now understood completely. They weren't enemies, they were just like him, trapped in the same horrific cycle. In that moment of shared humanity, Jonah made a choice. He wouldn't escape. He would burn the whole rotten system down from the inside. His opportunity came during Operation Shadowfire Final, a massive, orchestrated battle designed to be the bloody climax of the entire conflict. Both sides were being pushed toward a final confrontation in a narrow canyon, but Jonah had his own plan. Using a backdoor he'd built into the network, he bypassed the command level filters. Instead of receiving the usual sanitized tactical data, every soldier on the field, on both sides, suddenly saw what he saw: a filtered helmet cam feeds from their enemies. They saw faces, not targets. They heard cries of fear, not battle roars. They saw soldiers who looked just like them, fighting and dying for reasons they no longer understood. A wave of hesitation swept across the battlefield. Rifles lowered, the shooting slowed, then stopped. The grand finale dissolved into confused, deafening silence. In the chaos that followed, Jonah Reeve vanished. No body was ever found. No records confirmed his fate. He simply disappeared into the digital ether he had momentarily conquered. But he left behind an undeniable truth that spread like a virus through the ranks of every mercenary and soldier in the Shadowfire Divide. The war didn't end with a victory, but with a revelation: there were never two sides. There was only the conflict itself. a manufactured engine of profit. There were no heroes or villains, no righteous cause or evil empire. There were only shadows, and the men and women forced to fight them. Thanks for watching. If this story stuck with you, consider subscribing for more.